I'm in your corner, friend. I'm in your corner.
Welcome back to A Vulnerable Mom. We're here to have a conversation on motherhood, and I just want to create a space to be able to inspire other moms on their journey. I just want you to give a brief introduction.
So my name is Eliana L. Brown. I am a multi-hyphenate. I just learned that word this year. Okay, so I do a lot of things. I don't keep still. I think something in me just can't sit down too long, and I'm okay with that. But anyway, I manage and co-own Schuster's Crematorium, LLC. I'm a professional artist. I'm a mom of 3, a wife of 14 years. I also do a lot of other little things. I'm a host for Consortium during the festival season. There's just so many things, but overall, I'm just a good person. I mean, doing my best to make it in the world. So my oldest is 15. He's gonna be 16 on Valentine's Day, and my first daughter is 12, and then my youngest is 7. They're all in like 3 different
Phases.
Yeah, and this is actually the hardest
Right now.
Yeah, I feel, because now I am trying to get my son, who's going to graduate early from high school, to understand what maturity is, and awareness and attention to detail, and he's not trying to hear that. He wants to be a kid. My Aaliyah, she's 12, and she is so mature, but like in the sense of she's very chill, understanding. I have a lot of hope for her, because I can see how she handles things. She's gonna be good, and she's so into her own thing. She knows what she wants to do. She looks just like me, but she is like the opposite of me,
Really?
but has a lot of good of my good too.
Your qualities, yeah.
It's actually a beautiful thing to see what I made.
Like this come from me. I love that.
I'm
I
from her
love
daddy
it.
too, but like she has
It's
really
still
the best
you,
of our
yeah.
qualities. And then my youngest, that one there, her name is Alana, and she is a burst of energy. She even has the most beautiful, bright smile. Mommy, can I have cookie? And I'm just like,
How dare you say no?
yes. I mean, anybody. And she's not a super friendly person, but she's learned through me to at least speak and be respectful. Good afternoon. So she'll be like, if she sees me hug somebody, she'll hug them too. And I'm learning by watching her how adaptive she is. And it's crazy to see, because this little girl, she was in my womb. She gave me the hottest pregnancy.
Really?
Oh my God, she was in half in my womb up until it was time to deliver.
What do you mean in half?
She was I know. Let me clarify. Like folded.
Bend over.
Yeah, so she's double jointed all over, and she's super flexible from the womb. She fractured my tailbone internally. Whatever she was doing in there, she does it now. So she's like a self-taught gymnast, in the sense that she does these amazing stunts, and her point, her poise, everything. She's, my God. I'd be like, and I'm a dancer. You know what I'm saying? But I ain't danced in years. She just have it. She just come out the womb like that. I'm a first child.
Yeah.
So, and I tell my son all the time, it's hard for us. It's hard for us first kids, because we teach our parents how to be
Learning
parents.
at that moment.
Yeah,
Yes.
they're everything that they learn about parenthood, they learn from the first child. And I was like, look, we're gonna go through the trenches together.
Yeah.
Okay. So if I fail, if I mess up at any given moment, I will be transparent with you, like, son, my bad. And it's a beautiful thing to do that, because now we can have we're like, I don't believe in kids and adults being like on a level playing field, but having an understanding on a level playing field is like, okay, you have the mental capacity to understand what I'm going through, and to know that mommy is not perfect.
Yeah.
And vice versa. The history of second childs in my family, they're a little bit rebellious.
Yeah.
I feel like my second child
Didn't
is
give you that
not.
same thing.
I don't feel like she is, but she's young, so I had to keep talking to her and telling her who she is, and reminding her who she is.
So can you talk about your journey into motherhood then? What was that like 16 years ago?
Well, this is going to be a very transparent moment. So I was 21 when I had my son. I already knew, so I was married before, and I already knew that I was going to divorce his dad, but I was giving him a chance. The day I made the decision that I was done, I found out I was pregnant. And then there was also other things that happened, victim of, abuse. And, sometimes it's unrecognizable. And I actually got my degree in psychology, and I learned from my professor what type of abuse I experienced. And I just broke down in her class, and she was like, come see me after class. I didn't know what it was like. Being a wife is something I always wanted to do. I mean, like, I don't know, it sounds really taboo, but I always just talk to my father and my mother about being a wife and having kids.
You're together.
My parents are
So
still
is that
together.
something that you saw growing
Yeah,
up?
most people,
yeah.
like my grandmother and my grandfather are still together, my parents, a lot of people, even like some families that have been divorced, they're still like working together.
Yeah.
I haven't really experienced toxicity in relationship in my family, in my immediate family, that I have been privy to. Something happened, I don't know. What I saw in my eyes, my perspective was that it was just love. Love. My middle name is Love. I was made out of love. You know, my parents were so in love with each other. They still are. It's so cool to see, you know. And so when I had my son, I was going through a lot of emotions because I was like, what the heck am I going to do? I just got out the military. You know, I was going to school at UVI full time, and then I was like, how am I going to like?
This is after you just had him.
After I just had him, yeah, because I'm very determined. I don't keep still. Like once I put my mind to something, I'm doing it. So when I said I was going to go to school, I was like, okay, even though it was so hard, and my mother, oh my gosh, she helped me. I had like a lot of sleepless nights. I don't know how I did. I was struggling in school in the beginning, but you know, I made it through. I didn't finish UVI here. When I moved to Japan, I went and I got my degree in Japan, and I had my first daughter towards the end of my college career, and I was like, I don't know if I can be able to do it, but I did it, and I was like, and it was so good.
It felt good.
Yeah, to walk down and like have my baby, like
just watching you, like.
Yeah.
So how did that shape your perspective on parenting and resilience?
So, how do I answer that? So you know, the one thing that we're going to do as women is show up for ourselves, even. At my idol bun when I cried, I said, no, I don't cry enough. Thankfully, in the beginning, I had my parents. That was, I think, the biggest thing about it taught me to appreciate them more and also to understand that for women, it's so hard to do this on our own. We have to have some type of village. Yeah. I don't care. You could be the singlest parent on earth.
You cannot do it.
You can't be by yourself. You have to have whether it's one friend or even if it's a school,
somebody to talk to, whatever kind of support you needed.
Everybody needs at least some type of village. And when I hear women say, "Oh, I don't need nobody," I'm like, I just want to hug them. You do. Yeah. And I know like we don't go through these traumas and it'll be like, you know, people are hurt people. And I know I have been hurt so many times, but I'm not going to look at the next person and be like, you're going to do it to me.
I'm going to hurt you. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm going to try to give you the benefit of the doubt.
Leaving an abusive relationship, it takes a lot of strength. So what would you say to somebody that would be experiencing something, not necessarily the same, something similar?
Is your life. You live in it. So how do you want to see your future? Take the reins of your life and say, you know, I deserve better. And so that's what it was for me. I was like, okay, my first thought was like, I don't know nobody in my family who divorced except for one person. And I was like, what am I going to do when I divorce this person?
Because you already knew that you wanted to do it. Like, I'm not doing this.
I had, so he didn't know, but I knew. And I gave 2 chances after that. You know, I'm not like, hey, we done. I gave chances and it didn't happen the way, you know, I was hopeful it would. Yeah. Because of my son. I had a lot of conflicting thoughts. I cried a lot by myself. I wrote down pros and cons. I think I probably still have them. My parents always talked to me about everything and how to handle. So my father, he would tell me, grab a notebook, any questions you have, write it down. It don't matter what it is, write it down in a book. And if you get to it when you can, like do research and answer your own questions or like just have a book with all your thoughts and your questions. And so that's what I do. Now it's my notes in my phone. Yeah. It helped me. So I wrote down the pros and cons, and when that list was looking like the
way negative, more cons,
I said, you know, I got to do what I got to do. And I was like, no, I started asking, why do I love this person? Yeah. And I realized that it was a filler because actually the person I'm married to now was with them first, and then we broke up. And like literally not too long after we broke up, I was with this guy. I wasn't gone from home too long, so I really truly think that, and not to not credit him for how he loved me in the beginning, because I was loved in the beginning. It's just, you don't want that sense of longing and like wanting to be wanted, and you know, now you've grown and you like these are new feelings and like experiences. I didn't go to college like most of my friends, so I didn't have the college experience, but I was on my own adult, boom, one time straight. So that's what it was. I had to go through that experience. I would do it over again. It could have been so much worse. I have friends who have been through hell and back. So I don't like to talk about it because I don't feel like my experience is nothing compared to some. But in reality,
you still have to also.
So I have to honor that for myself.
Because you've worn so many hats: homemaker, entrepreneur, teacher, student, mom, right? How do you decide where to focus your energy, and how do you give yourself grace when you fall short?
That's a really good question because,
you're doing a lot.
Yeah. And you know, sometimes I'd be like, damn, I'd be in the mirror like, Eliana, why do you do this to yourself? Why? Learn to say no. But my thing is, I enjoy seeing people happy. Okay. I enjoy people experiencing my work and gay, that's like my therapy. So even though I killing off myself, I really don't have. I take great pride in what I do, and it means a lot to me. But sometimes the hats that I wear, I feel is also a coping mechanism.
Okay.
Because like I said before, I can't really keep still, and I don't. The way my mind works, and it's really unfortunate because when I'm having conversations with my husband, he'll be saying something, I'm like, oh my god, babe,
We start talking about something else.
yeah, and then I'm like, what you were saying again? And I don't mean to. We say we drive in, and I'm like, oh yeah, you see that blue house there? I know somebody, auntie, I live there, And then we keep going, and then like, what was I saying again? I don't know what it is. And so my husband was like, I hate that squirrel thing that you do. But I don't feel like it's my genius. It has saved me in a lot of situations. So like, okay. And I mean, sometimes it just really look like I'm just an airhead, and but
It makes sense to you.
It makes perfect sense to me. And I was like, if you could live a day in my mind, you wouldn't survive. Even when I'm painting, I have to sit and paint by myself because I can't have no distraction. When I'm painting, I paint a lot of women, and because of I believe in women empowerment and body positivity, because I feel like a lot of us suffer from body dysmorphia. In the Caribbean, we have a tendency of saying what we think out loud without any consideration of what the person might be going through, who they are, And I feel like if we just learn to shut up and listen more, or shut up and pay attention more, we would do it. Because we would just talk. One thing is rah. And sometimes we would share our opinions, and it's like, who asked you? I have experienced this in a different way in the States, living in the States, and it comes off more sly.
Yeah.
More like insinuating. And so that's what's different, I think, with Kirby. We are just upfront with it.
No brought up, just talking.
Yeah. Oh, you're getting fat. I see you gain a little bit of weight.
Put the food down.
Yeah. You get another plate? I'm hungry.
Thank you.
Yeah, girl. I just wish you would just and then the same people who talking, they have their own problems. I ain't tell you about your double chin. Also, there's people who see themselves so like, what's the word opposite of dysmorphia? They don't see.
They can't do no wrong. Yeah, exactly.
And I'm like,
no flaws at all.
Yeah, and I actually I envy those people because it's like I wish I could see myself that way. People would be like, oh, you're so beautiful. Oh my god. I'm like, really?
So when you look in the mirror, what do you see?
Oh my god. I don't see this. I don't feel like I look older. I don't feel like I'm like fat and out of shape. I don't feel like, I don't know. I just don't feel pretty.
Is this a constant thing? Even though you know that you're pretty, you know you're not fat.
That's the
right?
thing. That's the thing. I mean, so what happens is we have this idea of what we look like in our mind.
Yes.
And then we project it onto ourselves. But it's like when I see a picture, I'm gonna be like, damn, you're beautiful. Yeah, you look good. But when I look in the mirror, and I feel like these mirrors, because my feet at DPM and have a mirror that I love. So I feel so this is a conspiracy. I really feel like these mirrors ain't meant for.
There's that objects may appear bigger in the mirror and all kind of different
my
things.
mirror, my house is not doing it for me. So I don't feel so like, ew. I don't feel like, no man, this is not Eliana. And so my husband, he's even at the point where like if he tells me, I'll be like, for real? Like, you think I'm beautiful for real? No man, you see this? He'd be like, oh my god,
stop it.
Yes. And so we do it to ourselves, and we put ourselves in these boxes, and it's like, I am going to be 40, and I'm like, my goal is me doing that no more
at all.
Yeah. So when I look in my mirror now, and this is something I just started like last month, I look at the things that I love about myself. I love my eyes. Yes. I have very, I have like pretty eyes. It reminds me of my mom. Look at your hair. You have, people will pay for hair, like, like what you have. Okay, I appreciate your hair. I have freckles.
People tattooing freckles on their face.
So I try to bring the positive back into me so that I remember who I am. You were sleeping. That was a good one. I breastfeed my child and them. My last two was almost 3 years old. I had to watch you and be like, "Listen, I'm more power to you." I remember.
When both of them was on my titty at the same time.
I never did that, and I don't know how.
It wasn't really I don't think it was by choice.
My 7-year-old, she don't want
feeling. She's still feeling it.
And I'm like, Mama, this is okay. At this point, it's not yours anymore. Yeah. And it's so interesting how the dynamics change, and this is how society looks at things too, because it's like, we experience it in an intimate level, but like society sees it too. This is just like in everything.
Yeah.
How we grow through the phases, and it's like, okay, what was once acceptable and good is
breastfeed your baby, and then all of a sudden it's like, no, your baby too big for that. Yeah. Like a switch immediately. As soon as they turn one or something, it's like,
who made the rules? knows? And it's like, but you know, like it's interesting to me.
And I love how you said like you want to uplift your daughter and tell her she's beautiful and doing all these things. And I remember taking my kids to the park down in town, and I just hearing these little kids on top of like the little merry-go-round and just talking to each other, and they're just, you're ugly, you're
Yeah,
ugly,
these kids
you're ugly,
mean.
you're ugly, you're ugly, and I'm just like, why are we like this? Why are we talking to other kids like that?
I will tell you what I've experienced in teaching, being a teacher. It's so unfortunate. A lot of these parents are single parents, and they by the time they come home, they're tired. Man, get out my face, man.
Yeah.
I'm tired. I had a long day. You know how
Yeah.
why been through all day?
Yeah.
I'm about to go do your homework. You ain't got no homework. Like,
Just the
and they
harshness of
don't
it.
mean to. And I don't wonder if I ever been. I don't remember being like that ever. I don't have more like, okay, guys, I just get home. Can you please give me a second?
Yeah.
You know, we don't need
Yes.
that time.
Yeah.
But a lot of my students, some of them don't even see their parents. They don't even see their parents until like the night time because they got work 2 and 3 jobs. And so I to give these kids part. And when I see it happen, I'm like, guys, you know that's not nice. And then no, tomorrow when she call you ugly, you're gonna be vexed.
Exactly.
Come on, man, where is this coming from? So we talk a lot about emotion. We talk about a lot about boundaries. We talk a lot about like, you know, like simple things like no is an absolute no, you know. So if somebody says I don't like that, I don't care what it is, you stop. You know, so it gonna take time because the kids are getting most of their, and I please let me be careful with what I said. I feel like I don't teach my kids a lot of things that they never know.
Yeah.
And I don't have to be careful because I don't want the parents come and be like, well, I wasn't right to teach them that. And I'm like, oh my God, but they don't ask me questions.
Give me an example.
So I have, okay, for example, if there is a student who is into another student and one is more mature than the other, and one has more freedoms than the other, and they don't understand why that other kid's parents or whatever
Allow them to.
yeah, it's conflicting because now they're starting to sneak to
Yeah.
match that. And so I have to let them know your morals and values are the most important thing, and the people who are going to be there for you in the end are your family. So do not try to do what somebody else is doing because you don't know what their situation is and why, and it doesn't make it right.
This is going really well, but I don't even think that this would even be scratching the surface of anything of your story.
Oh, girl, no, I have.
There's so much.
I have a lot of things I could talk about. Oh, they're outside.
Downstairs?
No, they're outside. Stand by. Hi, welcome to the studio. They're doing what they have to do. I just know that God have a purpose for me, and I don't know what it is yet. I feel so connected to Earth, and I just but like spiritually, I don't feel like a tether. Like I don't feel like when I'm sleeping, especially I don't feel like there's I'm not doing what I'm supposed to be yet.
That's what you feel like.
That's how I feel. So I feel like I constantly find things.
That's
to
why
do.
you're like, let me try and see which one is it, because like once you feel like this is what it is, everything else will go by the wayside.
Yes.
Even though you're still finding joy in all of these things, there's still something that's there that you feel like.
That's it.
That
have to be it.
Yeah.
Because why,
Eliana?
Eliana?
Why you want to drag me to ground to do all of these different things?
Girl, I'm a warrior for the arts here, and I just see how the kids be like, no, my mother said like art ain't
Boring. You can't do nothing with that.
Yeah, you ain't making no money. What do you mean? Artists, everything we do, our hair, our clothes, the table, the building is literally everything. AI is art. Okay, if people would just take a step back and not think about the surface of things, like okay, painting, pictures. My clients are not here. I probably have sold 1 or 2 paintings here.
Really?
Most of my clients are in the States. And that actually breaks my heart. And also, all my generation is not ready to purchase art for the price that I sell it for. Owning a business is not my thing. Okay. As I'm getting into my 40s, I'm like, I really wanted to change for real, but it's a recognizable change, and I never experienced a recognizable change before. Like it just happened.
Scary?
It's liberating to know that I'm going to another phase in my life that I am totally prepared for, because I feel like 40s and 30s.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, like I want to know what that feels like. You know, I already went through the aches and pains in 30s, and I feel like it don't really go away in the 40s. I mean, I don't think it gets worse here for maybe the 50s.
Yeah.
I think this is like a prime time.
And as a takeaway, what is something that you would want people to know about you? Like your lasting legacy, what is something that you want somebody to know?
That everything that I do is never about me. It's always about the betterment of my people and the future of my kids. What am I so emotional? Oh my God.
It's your life.
Yeah, and it's hard because people will be like, oh, it's just for money. And it's like, sometimes I don't make nothing. And you don't understand. It's like, I give back so much. I don't talk about it. I give back so much of my time, of my effort,
my intellectual ideas. I have no problem. I want to see my people succeed. And I think the biggest challenge for me is that, people, the misconception of like who you are as a person is only perceived based off of the outward appearance and like what people, the assumptions of who you come from and where you are. And it's never negative for me, but it's always like, opportunities are given to me because of my last
Such and
family.
such.
I don't ever. I have Schuster Brown, but my husband's name is what I say, Eliana L. Brown. That's my name because I don't want to be tied to anything. Everything that I have ever
I worked
accomplished,
for.
I worked for, and I'm not crying because I'm sad. I'm crying because like the weight of it all that I carry every day. Because I want to see my home succeed and my kids succeed. And I'm only one person. So when you see me, I just hope that you see love and light and just dedication and support. I hope you feel support. I hope you feel love. Even though I'd be so busy, I don't even have a social life. I really hope that you feel seen and wanted in a space, accepted. No judges, a judgment-free zone. I don't know. I guess this is everything in a nutshell, but this is like the most transparent I've ever been ever on camera. And I like to cry, but like not like this.
Not like this.
But yeah, I really appreciate this opportunity because nobody's ever asked me like the questions you've asked.
This feels so good, and it's like I just want to thank you for trusting me with your story. The amount of people that share their stuff with me and how much I inspire them to even be vulnerable to do that, I'm just like, it feels like a big responsibility, and I just hope that I'm able to like share that in a way that it resonates with other people.
And you've paved the way for people to be so.
I just want people to just share, just like
Stop being
can
so
tell you
prudish.
I really hope people could just see me. And I just really hope
and
that
you
they
are
just see
seen,
me.
and I see you.
Thank you.
Thank you for tuning in.
Thank you.
So tell everybody where they can find you as you're closing.
So
With all the things that you
all
do,
the things. Okay,
right?
the main thing. So my business is Eliana B Artistry. You could find me there, but I have a website, www.elianabartistry.com, and you could find my classes and all the things that's happening on my website. So on my email, phone number, everything. Everything. Social media, Eliana B Artistry. Facebook, Eliana B Artistry, or Eliana L Brown. Very good. So this is where I teach usually. I teach on this side, but this is also a rentable space. So people rent it for their parties and stuff like that. I have my sign on the back end of that door. People usually use this area for food and stuff, but this is just all event space. And I use it all when I teach. So when I teach at certain classes, different sections. This is where obviously I do
Creativity.
I be like, why are you showing people your thing like this?
No. This is your brain at work.
Yeah, this is my.
This is it. This is your raw, real brain at work.
Yeah, and this is clean from the stuff that I did for festival. That's my father. I did it for him for Father's Day. Never give it. You see, I still have it. Yeah, that one is on my website. This one.
This is amazing.
Thank you. This one is in my head.
Oh my goodness.
This is a very special piece to me. Very special. This is how I would see myself, and like the chaos, like the thoughts. This is part of my thought series. So all of the beautiful and chaotic thoughts that are being in my head, and when you watch it, I'm just like I'm in my head. Yeah. So that's what this piece is.
I'm never gonna let you down.